Hey, Attorney Montgomery here. And I know that you guys saw this come across your screen this weekend. Porsha Williams Guabadia's husband, Simon, fighting deportation after criminal past. And so, as a family and immigration attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, I wanted to touch on this because some reports were inaccurate because they said that he had already been deported. And that is not how the process goes in immigration proceedings. He filed for citizenship not once, but twice. It appears that he came to the U.S. When he was young, and I believe that he came on a visitor visa, maybe with his parents or family, and they overstayed their visa, and they eventually were deported. So he entered into the country initially legally. However, he was ordered deported, but he didn't leave at that time. However, he got into some trouble. And this is where the bank fraud and, the felonies came into place. So after he had been deported, he went and got himself into some legal trouble, and then he was really deported. He was ordered deported, but then he was physically deported. And so because of these crimes, he was not eligible to come back into the country legally. However, there are so many different kinds of visas, and one of them being an agricultural visa. And it appears that that is what he applied for. And as part of that application process, they asked specific questions. Have you ever been to the United States? Have you committed any crimes that would make you ineligible to obtain a visa in the United States? And in that visa application, he misrepresented and said no, that he had never been charged or convicted criminally of anything, and that there's nothing that was keeping him from being eligible to have this visa and return to the United States. And so he returned to the United States, and through this visa program, he was able to obtain his green card. So that is the issue that Simon is having. He lied on the application, which allowed him to obtain status and come to the United States. And then he obtained his green card or his permanent residency card. And he's had that permanent residency card for over 30 years. I believe it said 3 decades. And so he applied for U.S. citizenship. It says, I believe, in 2016 and then again in 2020. And he was denied both times. And the reason that he was denied is because they were able to determine that he had been here before, had been deported for criminal convictions or criminal dealings, and then he filed and he misrepresented in that application. So Simon's position or argument was that I've been here over 30 years and I've been doing it the right way. I was young and made some mistakes, but I came back. I turned my life around. I've been on the up and up, and I wish to be forgiven. And unfortunately, USCIS does not see it that way. Well, because of that, now that this thing has been dismissed in federal court, this now opens the door for USCIS to determine if they are going to file what's called an NTA, a notice to appear, and if they're going to charge him for his misrepresentations and the fact that he obtained his initial green card through misrepresentation. Now, the USCIS immigration does allow, people who have misrepresented on documents or made mistakes or lied. They give them an opportunity to have their day in court, which means that he first has to be placed into deportation proceedings. And I think that USCIS can do that now that the federal court has made their final ruling. They can decide to do that. And if they do, they're going to let Simon know what he has been charged with and give him an opportunity to provide a defense. Now, immigration doesn't have a lot of defenses that can be used, but they do have waivers for certain things. And there may be an opening or an opportunity for Simon to defend himself and obtain the waiver and still be allowed to remain in the United States. I'm not saying that that's guaranteed. I don't know the case. He didn't hire me as his attorney. But if you want to, Simon, we can definitely talk about that. But there may be an opportunity for him to file a waiver that would allow him to be able to stay in the United States. I'm not saying that's guaranteed, but there may be an avenue. I'd have to dig deeper into the case to really see what is going on. But there may be an opportunity for him. But just because the case was dismissed in federal court does not mean that he's been ordered deported. That is, unless there was already a deportation order in place and he was appealing that. And that's not what I read. But what I'm saying is that immigration is going to give you an opportunity to present your case, to defend yourself, and maybe find another avenue to be able to stay in the United States. So I hope that this clears it up for everyone who saw the post and was unclear as to what does this mean for Simon. And I wish them all the best. They look truly happy together, and I hope that they can overcome this. If you have an immigration issue, no matter where you are in the United States, Atlanta Family and Immigration Law is here to help. Our phone number is 678-601-5580. Take care.